My stepsister broke my $200 SpiderMan mask and doesn't want to apologize. I, am 18, have been a huge Spider-Man fan since I was a kid. He's my hero and the character I love the most. Last year I found an offer to buy an extremely faithful reproduction of the mask from the original Sam Raimi films and, after saving for months, I finally managed to buy it. The other day my stepsister, F17, broke her phone charger, so she anxiously searched for a spare among the things in my room while I was out. Since the Spider-Man mask is placed on top of the box in which I keep chargers, adapters, pendrives etc., she took the mask and threw it on the bed to make room and take the box, but the mask fell and one lens came off and the 3D rubber web also came off in 2 places. The mask is very fragile, in fact I never wore it except to go to the cinema to see the last film, so I kept it on display in my room without ever touching it so as not to damage it. When I got home and found the mask in that condition, she explained to me what had happened as if there was nothing wrong and as if hers was a normal way of behaving. When I got a NRGY, she said it was just a silly mask which is not essential to live, but her phone is. I told her that she is selfish and arrogant, so she replied that I'm acting like a child because at my age I shouldn't get mad about these things. I'm not saying this is the end of the world, but I would expect her to at least apologize. It wouldn't take much to say, sorry. But she refuses because she says she didn't do anything serious and she needed the charger. The thing that bothers me most is that my dad scolded me for getting mad at my stepsister, because he says, there's no need to be angry about a toy. My stepmother said she is very sorry and asked if it's possible to fix the mask, and that if so she would pay the costs. I thanked her and told her not to worry. I don't want her to pay. I just want her daughter to apologize and stop treating my things like this, and my dad to stop being a boomer. You're absolutely right. If someone breaks something, whatever it is, they should apologize. Maybe her mother can explain it to her. That, just a toy, comment bothers the fuck out of me. You spent your hard-earned money on something and kept it out of reach and stored so it wouldn't break. How your dad doesn't see anything she did was wrong is fucked up and favoritism emo. He's working on having a spoiled-ass stepdaughter at this rate at the risk of alienating his own child. I guess my takeaway from this is that if stuff breaks people shouldn't get upset. Hope some memorabilia of his gets broken so he can illustrate to you how he follows his own words so well. Also take your stepmother up on her offer. It's kind of a big deal and maybe when she realizes it she will actually punish your stepsister. She absolutely needs to apologize. Fuck sake. A phone is not something that you'll die without. She didn't need a charger, she wanted one. I would argue at her age it's not your fucking responsibility to provide her with a charger for her phone. Her phone came with one, so why would she need yours? If she took better care of her shit this wouldn't be an issue. This is something I think you and your dad should take issue with. Not only does she not take care of your belongings but she broke her own, which is what caused this whole thing in the first place. The key here is the disrespect. She had no respect for you, and your dad thinks your reaction is a bigger deal than showing a lack of respect. Fuck lol. Stepmom at least is a parent here. Sit down with her and ask her to make her daughter apologize and ask for a door lock so she doesn't go in your room anymore. Yes, they can compensate you for the mask, it is something that should be done. Prenup. Or break up? I, 29 female, have been in a long-term relationship with my boyfriend, 31 male, for the past 5 years. We have been living together for 3 years and I am currently a full-time nursing student and my boyfriend is an established real estate agent of 8 years. He is the current breadwinner of the household and he is supporting me financially at the moment. We had many discussions about marriage but he always brings up to me about signing a prenup. At first it didn't bother me, but as time passed and he keeps pestering me about it to the point that if I don't agree to signing one then there will be no marriage. So in return, I told him I need to approve the prenup before we get engaged and he got offended from my remake. How am I supposed to marry him if I don't agree with the terms of the prenup? I am almost at the end of nursing school and I will eventually be making more than he will be, but I don't throw it in his face. Please give me your insight on this please. ! You get your own lawyer to review a prenup before ever signing. If he doesn't want you to do that, no marriage. Both of you need to have a lawyer representing your interests. Separate lawyers. Your lawyer needs to negotiate terms with his lawyer so you both have a prenup you can agree on. Your man asking you to sign a prenup without independent legal review is exploitative behavior. F that noise. Lawyer up, lady. My mom was in the exact same situation. She was in nursing school, Dad was entrepreneur. He was doing better than her at the time the prenup was signed. By the time they got divorced, not so much. She said a prenup saved her in the long run. Someone else said to get 2 separate lawyers. I think that's a great idea. A prenup is negotiable and he does need to respect your say in what the terms of the prenup are. I have been a high-earning career woman. I have tremendous experience here. I got a prenup in 2000. I went through a divorce, caught him cheating in 2017 after 17 years of marriage. Because of the prenup the divorce was very fast, and very easy from a financial perspective. I was highly protected. I did have more assets. 2 years ago I remarried with another nuptial agreement and I absolutely wouldn't have it any other way. It was my idea. Again, I have more assets. You must get a prenup, and you will have an attorney thoroughly advise you. Mark my words. I suggest you have some fun here. Turn the tide and tell him you are the one needing the prenup. Do insist he sign one to protect your future high earnings. You might thank me someday. Hopefully not. Prenups are almost always negotiated between lawyers, one representing him and one representing you. They are made fairly and in a ways that protects and benefits both of you. One-sided and unfair prenups are thrown out in court. He simply can't write one up, have you sign it and call it a day. He's rather an idiot or an abusive asshole. The fact that he has a problem with you reviewing and agreeing to it, which is usual and customary, seems pretty shady to me. My 31M girlfriend, 32F, is suddenly putting conditions on us living together. My girlfriend, 32F, and I, 31M, have been together for a bit less than 2 years, and are planning on moving in together in a few months, when our leases end. While we care about and love each other very much, we have fairly different lives and lifestyles. She's a visual artist, and is passionate and dedicated to her craft. She works enough to survive, and spends as much time as possible on her art. On the other hand, I'm a lawyer at a big white shoe firm. To keep it vague, the firm I work for has a history of some activities and clients that clash with my belief system. I work in a very banal practice area, though, far removed from any of the unsavoriness that the firm has been known for. It's a good place to work, has great opportunities for internal and external advancement, allows me the ability and funds to pursue my other hobbies, and I enjoy the work I do. As you can imagine, I make a lot more money than she does. This hasn't been a problem for either of us, though, since I like to treat her to nice things, and I can afford to do so, she likes being treated, and I love the things she does, makes for me that don't cost money. However, she is quite ideologically opposed to what I do. She's a self-described committed Marxist, and while she knows that the work I do isn't evil, she thinks that the firm is destroying the country, planet, etc. We don't talk about it much, but when we have, she said that while she understands my decision to work there are some things that should matter more than money. Now that we're planning on moving in together, her stance has changed somewhat. She's made it clear that she now sees money, benefits from the job as tainted. If we live together, she'll directly benefit from her proximity to the firm in more specific ways, i.e. my paying most of the rent, living expenses, her getting on my health insurance, which she desperately needs, which is clearly making her feel uneasy. When she laid this out to me, she gave me a list of things that I could do to make her feel more comfortable with the situation. To be blunt, her initial ideas shocked me. They ranged from things that would lose me standing at work, to things that could get me fired, to things that were straight up illegal, i.e. explicitly defrauding the firm. She eventually came up with a few more reasonable recommendations: reading Marxist theory, and donating to and volunteering for a few specific anti-capitalist organizations. She said that if I did that, and my mind wasn't changed about the morality of my work, she'd give up, which I'm afraid is code for resent me forever. I told her I'd think about it. Well, I've been thinking about it, and it's been driving me crazy. Even though her demands are reasonable, I'm offering her access to things that will materially make her life better, and in return she's making me do some kind of penance so she can see her accepting them as morally justified. Plus, I don't even know if they'll ultimately satisfy her, or if she'll either add more conditions or start resenting me, herself, for accepting my help. Would I be crazy to draw a hard line on this? I like the organizations she wants me to engage with, and reading a few books would hardly be arduous, but I feel like I'm being punished for having a job I like, and offering for her to be the beneficiary. Too long did not read. My girlfriend wants me to atone for the work I do at my corporate job before she'll move in with me. Should I do those things for her? Edit. To be clear, I will not give up my job for her, and she's not asking me to. That's an unquestionable no for me. I've worked too hard for it to do that. It's really only a question of the small concessions she's asking for. I am really worried that there is a long-term compatibility issue, though. Honestly, she shouldn't be using to quell her own guilt. This is her problem. And clearly she was okay with you spending money on her. A long-term compatibility issue. Suggest that she's not comfortable benefiting from your salary. You can evenly split expenses and rent so she doesn't have to feel that smile. Wait. She feels guilty for benefiting from your money, so you need to do penance? That's not reasonable at all. You're obviously fine with the job you have, or you would, presumably, have found something else. If she feels guilty, she can do the penance. You need to do precisely nothing of the sort. Sweet Pete, she's ridiculous. Do not give in to her demands. You are fundamentally incompatible. Giving up on your career because of her beliefs is the same as a barman having to quit because his girlfriend is a Christian. This won't work long term. Your girlfriend's ideology very likely will not change. If you keep your job, she'll resent you. If you change jobs, you'll resent her. And her demands are not reasonable. Your firm is evil, but she's going to be benefiting from you working there? And you have to jump through hoops to make it right with her? For an intelligent man, you're being pretty foolish. You are incompatible now, let alone long term. This is not a relationship that can be sustained on love, This is going to eat at both of you and be a major issue that is going to leave you both pissed and bitter. Sometimes we can truly love people but just not be the right partners. A partnership should help you grow and be happier, healthier people. Be a source of support. And I don't see that ever being the case here. Is weird or suspicious to for me, 25F, to take a solo vacation without my boyfriend? Basically, I work remotely and can go anywhere. My boyfriend never saves his PTO and takes days off whenever he just doesn't feel like going into work. I've always preferred solo vacations, like I've traveled with friends and family but never boyfriends. I'm type A and like to schedule, plan, and follow a reasonable itinerary. Other people always slow me down and suck the fun out of the vacation. I told him when we started dating that I go on solo vacations and don't plan to stop. He said it was perfectly fine and brave. We live in the US and I want to go to Namibia and South Africa for 2 weeks. My boyfriend has never expressed any interest in going to Africa. I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to, as I've asked and he gave very lackluster responses, and I plan to go at least once every 2 years. I started looking at tickets and now he's all upset, saying solo vacations aren't what you do in a committed relationship. Is the right thing to do just stay trapped in the USA because he doesn't save his vacation? I'm a bit annoyed, considering I plan on doing solo vacations for the rest of my life no matter the circumstances of my personal life. I find it hard to manage my mental health without them. He's known about it from the start. He told you he was okay with it. Not your problem that he uses his holiday in a different way. He should be trying to guilt you like this. He needs to get over himself. Lol girl go. Plenty of people, including married people, take solo trips. So he's basically saying you're not allowed to travel. You're only allowed to travel with him, and he either doesn't want to or can't go, therefore you're not allowed. Sounds like a red flag. I'm married and take solo trips, well with friends, and so does hubby. In a relationship full of trust and commitment doesn't mean two people have to be tied to each other's hip. Take your trip. If he throws a fit, you need to reevaluate the relationship. Go on your solo vacations. You told him from the start you did this. He was fine with it. Now he's jealous and trying to control you. Don't let him. He takes you as you are or you move on. I take so. Vacations all the time. I love them. My husband does not like taking solo vacations, so we go on vacations together, but he never tried to stop me because he knows how much I love the freedom of traveling by myself. We have been married 24 years and we don't try to change each other. Take your trip. You were very clear about yourself and what you enjoy from the get-go. Let him know that you're happy to whip up an agreement for staying in contact with him while you're gone, but that you will be going.